We're going to talk about the dreaded missing line. And what I'm specifically talking about is when you stitch it out and it's got this missing line. So irritating. So I'm going to try to explain this as simple as possible. What happens is Inkstitch does not like to paint itself into a corner. And what I mean by that is, I'll show you a preview of this in just a second, but what happens is it will start on this side and it comes over here to this side over here and it starts doing the over stitch coming down. Once it gets down to here and it more or less in line to go across here, it comes down to the bottom and it starts working its way up. Now once it gets to here, it realizes there's only one line left. Think of painting like it's painting in threads, in lines. When it gets to a certain point, when it gets to this point right here, and it only has one stitch paint line left, and if it comes over here and paints this stitch line, there's no blank stitch line to come back on, and it's thinking I have now painted myself into a corner. So instead of coming over here and filling in this one stitch line and then stitching over something that's already been painted, it just doesn't do it. And therefore you end up with this one stitch line that doesn't get filled. 90% of the time, you can fix that real easy just by coming in here, clicking on the fill, go to extensions, Inkstitch params, and 90% of the time, it's as simple as changing this angle line of stitches right here to a 90-degree angle. 90% of the time, that's going to fix it. Because it doesn't have the overhang to get caught under anymore because it's just filling from this side to this side. So what happened is Miss Victoria wanted her stitching done on a sweatshirt, and it took me longer to pick the font than it did to digitize it because it's a layer of fill with a layer of no fill stroke on top. Convert stroke to satin. Simple. And of course, it didn't work the first time. Of course it didn't when it's simple like that. So all I had to do, change it to a 90-degree stitch angle. Everything's fine and dandy. In fact, let me show you, if I may. It might be that one. Nope. It is that one right there. So in order to get the most I could out of this piece of fabric, I turned the stitch upside down, but you can see that it's all filled in. And this one here is my second attempt, which I went ahead and stopped because it didn't work. This is my second attempt. I don't remember what I did here trying to make it not do that, but it did it anyway. This right here is me playing around. After I did the 90-degree and it worked, and I decided I wanted to make a video on it, I wanted to see what other things I could do because the 90% of the time means it's not 100% of the time. So there's going to be cases where 90% of the time, changing your stitch angle to 90 degrees is going to work like a charm. That leaves that 10%. What else can you do? There's actually quite a few things you can try to do. And in this case, one of those things, let me close this out. Close. Was it this one? I think it was this one. So one of the things I decided to do is cut. And yeah, it's this one. I decided to cut this down here. And the other thing you can do is, I'll get to that in a minute. I cut this so that it has to do one side and then it has to do the other. So if I look at only one of these, Go into params. We're going to look at just one of these, and it's going to, I'm going to show you that it's only doing one leg, and then it's going to do the other leg. And that more or less worked. That's as a last resort, because it turned out to be, I got rid of where I was. It turned out to be this one right here. This is when I did one stitching one side and stitching the other. I got this seam in the middle here that it's not a terrible thing, but it's just not supposed to be there, you know? So there is that. And then the other thing that I tried doing, I don't know if I have a, let me see. I think it might be this one. The other thing I tried just for giggles is I tried changing the stitch angle to a 45-degree angle. And it might be this one. No, it's not this one. I probably don't still have that one, but just for out of curiosity, since changing it to a 90-degree angle works almost all the time, I was wondering, if changing it to a 45 would work. Now, 45 would probably work on a different piece, but on this piece it did not. Because on this piece we ended up with let's see, we ended up with this. So you can see with this one, come on now, work with me. I hope you can see with this one. I changed this into a 45-degree angle, and I've still got the missing line right here, and it goes really long from one end to another. That didn't work either, but the 90-degree angle did. Now, what are some of the other things we can try? Let me load up my original. Get rid of that. Yep. Okay. So this is the first one that I did. I'm going to load up my original and show you a couple things you can try if it's not working for you. I'm going to hit Control and I'm going to push the left button so that I only have that fill selected. Show you I've only got that fill selected. Right there it is. We're going to go into Extensions, Inkstitch Commands, attach commands to selected target, fill stitch starting position and fill stitch ending position. Hit Apply. So now you can change where it starts, where it finishes. So if we do Extensions, Inkstitch params, and we just sit here and watch it, we can see it starts over here and it goes to over here and it comes back across and it fills up over here. Which is exactly, see, this is exactly the original without setting a command. This is what happens with the original, because it does this side and then it comes down here and starts filling up from the bottom up, and then it gets to here and there's one stitch line left that it won't commit to. So the problem is still here, but we haven't changed anything. We have put our start and stop positions on there, but we didn't change anything. So I'm just going to grab this stop position. I'm going to change it and put it over here. So let's see if anything changes now. Inkstitch params. Let's see what happens. Now it's going to go down this side and it's going to come from the bottom up. It's doing the same thing. It's quite literally doing the same thing. So let's quit that, hit cancel. Now let's put our stop point down here at the bottom. Now what's it going to do? Extensions, Inkstitch, params. Now it's going to start on this side and it's going to go to this side. Now it's going to finish going from both sides being done, and then it's going to finish from there down. So this probably will work. This is I didn't change the fill stitch angle. I just changed the stop position to the bottom. And this will probably work. I'm not going to try it. I'm just giving you options on things that should theoretically work. So that's a major thing that could also work. In that 10% scenario that change in the fill stitch angle doesn't work, this will also fix it if you put it in the right stop and start positions 90% of the time. Now you shouldn't have an occasion to where it doesn't work, theoretically. So give those between fill stitch angle and start and stop positions, give those two things a try. Almost certainly between one or both, you may have to do both, but between those two things, you should be able to fix it. And that's all I've got for this video. It's kind of short. There's only 2 fixes for it, unless you really are having serious trouble with something. One of these 2 fixes or both of them together should fix it. But anyway, that's all for this video. Until next time, thanks for watching.